What we're going to do is we bring Eric back, but you know how we're going to do that? We will never be in our seats. We always stand up. Come on, everybody. Get up, get up, get up. Everybody. I want to see everybody standing. Come on. Everybody standing. Stand up, stand up, stand up. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Here is what we're going to do. You're already used to it, so I do the countdown from 5 to 0. This time super easy, but I really want to get your blood pumping. So just raise your hands, and you're going to jump and push your hands up at the same time, okay? We're going to do that for 10 seconds, and then Eric comes back on stage. Are you ready? Then we can start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! There we go. Jump, come on. Jump, 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 jump. And here's again, Mr. Eric Worre.
All right, all right, all right. Thanks, man. Lorraine did a short dance in the backyard. She said, it's cold outside. How many people is it cold where you live? Is it cold where you live? A little chilly? Get some fresh air? Ready to make it happen? Listen, I believe success leaves clues. That if you pay attention to what other people did to have success, then you can have success too. So we've got a group of people. This group of people were part of our Accelerator program for 2021. And I want to bring them out, and I want to have them tell you their story. And I want you to kind of imagine yourself in their position, because a year ago, they were sitting in your chair right now. They made a decision, and everything changed, okay? And if it can happen for them, it can happen for you. So I want you to welcome to the stage Emma Tia, Kinsey Ray, Adrian Bokelman, James and Becky Zhang, and Melissa Manelli. Get in here, have a seat. Hey, 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 hey. Well, it's good to see you all. Yeah, we did this Accelerator program. We had people submit their stories and different things, and these people rose to the top. There's some others that you're going to hear from later on today and tomorrow. But this idea of making a decision has to be kind of scary sometimes, right? So what I'd like you to do, one at a time, is just introduce yourself and tell people your story, okay? Your name, where you're from, where were you a year ago, and your story over the course of the last year. How are things changed for you? And let's start with you.
Hi, very humbling to be here. My name is Brianna Michael from Houston, Texas. And, you know, a year ago, Eric came into my world. Last December was my first GoPro that I've ever attended. And honestly, I am kicking myself for not attending 5 years ago because it has literally given me a roadmap on how to get to the next level. And so when I heard about the Accelerator last year, it was the pilot one. It's the first one they've done. And, you know, I heard about it. I wondered if I needed this in my life. And so I called my friend Jen, who had been a part of Eric's world, and she said absolutely. And so I made a scary decision to join, and I went all in. And it honestly, I mean, it grew my business 68%. It was incredible what it did because, you know, before.
What did specifically? What actions did you take? I mean, there's a lot of learning, a lot of growth, a lot of challenges. But what actions did you take that grew your business by 68%?
Well, before it was more ignorance on fire. It was like getting people in and hoping they stick and do what we did. And learning from the Accelerator, it was coaching through assignments. It was systems, creating a digital onboarding toolkit. It was focusing on the 2%ers. And here's the thing is I spent a lot of my time and a lot of negative self-beliefs focusing on the things that didn't really matter because I was focusing on the tourists, right? The people who were just happy getting product every month. And I was trying to figure a way, how do we get these people to the next level? And what I needed to be focusing on are those 2%ers, because the 2%ers are the people that want to grow, want to rank advance, want to recruit, and these are the people that make up 80% of your business. I would have never known this if you hadn't have told me. I mean, I wish that I had come into your world 5 years ago because it really shortened the learning curve for me. And here's the thing is, for a long time I was asking, what's wrong with me? And I would have these. Did you know that 70% of people have imposter syndrome? I mean, even Jessie Lee Ward admitted that she had it. I had it before coming to
What do you mean by imposter syndrome?
Oh, thinking.
You feel like people are going to figure you out any second?
Yes. I mean, I was trying to talk myself out of coming to this panel saying I should not be on this stage. And that's why you have to keep your circle tight. That's why you have to really guard who comes into your world because it's those people that are going to lift you up. And that's what the Accelerator program does, is it keeps you on track. Because I don't know if you know this, so men out there, men on average speak about 20,000 words a day. Women are 30,000. But our internal dialogue.
I don't think we do 20,000. I think we do like 450. And you guys do 30,000. That's what I think.
I would agree with that. But our internal dialogue is 70,000 words in our head, and most of it's negative. So if you are not in the right group of people, you're going to let that tear you down, and your mind has to arrive at the destination before your life does. So that's why the Accelerator program has been so important to me, because I surrounded myself with you and the right people.
I love it. I love it. How about you?
Hi world, bonjour la France. So my name is Melissa Manelli. I'm French. I'm a French single mom of 2 kids. And a year ago, I never heard about network marketing. Actually, 5 years ago, I made the biggest decision. It was to run away from 12 years of abusive marriage. And I took my kids in the middle of the night and I ran away. So to take care of my kids, thank you. To be able to take care of my kids, I decided to become an entrepreneur. But my first year of entrepreneurship, I just had 2 clients. So that was a shock, and I was tired of being defeated. So I tried to just, do my best, and that made me understand that you cannot give to other people what you don't have. And back then, I was overweighted, I was broke, and I was broken. So I was trying to push as much as I could, and coronavirus happened. And then I was home, just like everybody, wondering what my life would be from now. And then one day on social media, I received a message from a total stranger, who's now one of my best friends. And he said, hey, do you want to watch my video? And what I learned in that video changed my business and definitely my life forever, because this is how I joined network marketing as a client first, because I didn't know there was a business behind it. It took me a couple of months to actually connect the dots. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. But I was trying. And after a couple of weeks of no success, I was like, okay, I quit. So I called him and I told him, this is not for me. And he was like, okay, I'm going to give you a challenge. So you're going to read 1 book. And after reading that book, if you want to quit, okay. And that book was GoPro, because I never heard about you, never heard about this. I was like, okay, whatever, it's just a book. And I received that book, I read it all night. I was like, oh my gosh, there are rules to this? Okay, I'm doing it. So 2 weeks later, I was one of those people spending my entire weekend in my pajama, dancing, crying, being all fired up. And when you talked about the accelerator, I just had the vision. I had absolutely no money. I had like 3 people in my team, but I made the biggest stretch in my life. I sold a couple of things because I knew I had to be part of that. And when I started the accelerator program.
So a year ago, you had 3 people on your team.
Yeah.
And you had no money.
No.
All right, so keep going.
Yeah, so when I joined the program, I hated it. I hated it because it was so hard. I cried, I yelled, I screamed, I did everything that I could to talk me out of doing all assignment, but I made the decision that I was tired of being defeated. I was tired, and after 12 years of abusive marriage, of having low self-esteem, I wanted to win, and I wanted to believe in this, and I knew that the accelerator was the place that I had to be. So in January, I started, and I got 5 people, and now I have more than 315 countries.
300 people in 15 countries. Totally changed everything. From 3 to 300, 100x.
Yes.
Right? And you've set yourself up, even more importantly, for, first of all, super proud of you for getting out of a bad relationship and having the courage to do that, because that's a scary thing. Very scary thing when it's, and those of you who've had the courage to do the same, I admire you equally for doing that. And then also making the scary decision, even when it was hard and it was lonely and everything else, to be able to go from where you were and being resourceful. It's not about having the resources, it's about being resourceful, finding a way, and then breaking free. Your story for the last 12 months excites me, but you know what excites me more? The next 12 months.
Yes.
And the 12 months after that.
Yes.
When you go 100x again and 100x again, it goes from 300 to 30,000.
Yes. Oh, I'm ready.
Because if you go from 3 to 300, the next one is 300 to 30,000. It's not 3,000. It's 30,000. That same level of growth. And that's what's possible. That's what you're going to see her story as you move forward in the GoPro community over the course of the next several years. All of these people's story. But well done. Well done, you. How about you, young man?
Hey guys, it's so amazing to be here. Eric, thanks so much for inviting us here to Las Vegas. It's an honor to be here because you changed my life, really. Because 6 years ago I started a business. I'm Adrian, 25 years old. And I started 6 years ago just because I was that kind of person. I really don't know what to do with the rest of my life. I was broke, had no money, had no time, had no freedom. I was unsatisfied. I was a student. And I don't know what to do with the rest of my life for the next 6 years. And then I get introduced to this incredible business and join network marketing just because I want to earn maybe some extra money in a month. And then after weeks, I saw that with this business, I can change my life. But I can also change the life of my family because I saw my mom working 6 days a week, working their butt off for me and my brother that we're having a good life, have some food, have some income, have some more money to live. And my dad was working 7 days a week, no weekend. Where's the Saturday? Where's the Sunday? 7 days a week working for me and my brother. And I was like, hey, this is my chance. This business, I can change my life. I can change the life of my whole family. I can build a brand new legacy. And then I remember the GoPro Accelerator last year came out, and it came out like I was praying for it. Because when I started the business, I had like a rocket start. I was in 2 years in the highest position of my company. I was the youngest male person worldwide with the highest position. And I'm earning 6 figure. I was becoming a 6 figure. And then last year, I was like, this is my chance. Because you tell us, I remember your words, that with this GoPro Accelerator program, the next years, there will be the most persons becoming 7 figure. And I'm like, let's go all in. I'm crushing it. I will do this. And I was sitting there because he was telling us, this is perfect for persons who have maybe have enough of playing small, have enough of crawling through network marketing, have enough of maybe not have the permission to dream big again. And I was like, this is my chance. It's perfect because I was sitting there in my penthouse in Germany, 4 a.m. in the morning, like eyes were sleeping there, and I was like, okay, come, let's go. This is my chance. I want to use it. And it changed so much in my life because you give me the permission again to dream big, to go crazy, to go all in, because I was so committed to go all in for 2021. I was so hard committed that this year is going to be my best personal year. I was ready for my personal breakthrough, and the GoPro Accelerator was just a tool for me which helped me to learn the skills, to build more leadership, to build more core ranks, to focus more on retention, to focus more on the relationship between customer and partners. And it was amazing. And what I'm most proud of is that we tripled our business in only 5 months. It was crazy, crazy, massive momentum. We had the run of our life. But what I'm most proud of was that I become, just from being the normal leader with the highest position in a company, I become in 6 months, in 7 months, during the accelerator, I become top 20 in whole Europe. And we have millions, millions of partners worldwide. And I become top 50 with the biggest growth on the whole world, on the whole planet. And the biggest thing is like that it all duplicates, because one of my top leaders, one of my best friends, she also did the same. Top 20 in Europe, top 50 worldwide. And this is so crazy because I'm sitting here right now and telling my success, telling my story, and you can do the same. Everybody's watching from over 100 countries. You can do the same. You can sit here next year and be maybe the number 1 of your company. You can do the same thing and be number 15 in your whole company and be number 1. And this is so crazy because when I can do this 6 years ago, shy, introvert, don't know what to do the rest of my life, you can do the same because the GoPro Accelerator teach me so much, and it just gives me the permission to dream big and to go crazy again, and it all changed my life. Amazing.
Well done. Give him a round of applause, everybody. This young man. Now, I also kind of want to recognize the international flavor here. What country are you from?
United States.
United States?
France.
France?
I'm from Germany.
Germany? And
United
Kinsey?
States.
U.S. So tell your story, Kinsey.
Yeah, my name's Kinsey Ray. Hello, everybody. This is so cool to be here. Truly a dream come true. A year ago, I was actually celebrating one of my best years ever after failing miserably for 3 years. I was stuck. I was frustrated. Plugged into the GoPro community, actually invested in your 20 and 30 boot camp in 2020, and it totally changed my business, working with you for 1 month. So at the end of 2020, I was celebrating a really great year, but I was in that stage 1 activity, and I was working so hard, and I was like, how am I supposed to have any more energy to keep growing? How do these big leaders do this? I am exhausted. This is so hard. I didn't have a lot of leadership in our team, very little duplication, and so I just was so confused about how to get to the next level. So when I found the accelerator program, I was like, if working with Eric Worre for 1 month did this much, what would 12 months do? And it gave me the best year of my life. My business doubled, we hit top rank, my income doubled, we have real leaders on our team helping lead this organization.
So you doubled your income, and you already had your biggest year, right?
Yes.
Prior to that, and then you doubled it over the course of the last 12 months.
Yeah.
So what you know, I just didn't want to gloss over that, because you're like going through the list. Yeah, it doubled, It's like when you have your job, you have a job working for somebody else, you don't get to double your income. You get like 3% at the end of the year if it's a good year. I mean, that's normal, right? Or you get to keep your job. That's your bonus. But you doubled your income. What else happened?
Yeah, I doubled my income, doubled the team volume. We hit top rank. I was featured in the company magazine, was recognized as a top 10 local leader, top 10 global leader, asked to train the company corporately, won an award at convention. Like all of my big goals I'd been working towards for 5.5 years, including this moment right here, happened because of the accelerator program.
How cool is that?
It's amazing.
Young woman. And your future, my gosh, it's kind of annoying. You're 25 years old. When I was 25, I still hadn't had a breakthrough yet. I was just kind of hanging around. And then I finally had my breakthrough. Oh my God. It felt like it took forever to be able to have the breakthrough. So you're ahead of me, which is great. Congratulations. All right. How about you, young lady?
Hey, how's everyone doing? My name is Emma Tia, and I'm from UK.
Hey,
Woo!
Emma.
So my story is I joined network marketing. This will be my 6th year. And I would say for 4 years, I just run on enthusiasm. I was so passionate. I loved the industry. I fell in love straight away. It was a blessing for me because I had a disability that took me out of my job, and then I fell into network marketing. So I always say my disability is my blessing. And I had success, but then I would always lose it. I'd bring people in and we would have success, and then I'd lose it. Now, I could never get past this rank. I had a rank plateau. I could never get past this income. And I would...
And before you go any farther, Show of hands, how many of you have ever had a plateau in your network marketing business that you struggled to get past?
For
How many of you
years.
ever felt stuck? Okay, that's normal. She experienced the same thing, so let's talk about it.
Yeah, it's for a long time. Like, I've got good energy. I love the industry. And I was just, do you remember when Alfred come on and he showed you that black hole with the, like, people kept going down it. Like they kept going down. And I didn't know why, because I was having this energy and I was thinking, why can't people just do what I do? Why can't they just be me? Why can't we just all run together on the same energy? And this time last year, I decided to do GoPro. And if you've ever decided something and then your world falls apart, like a fox came in and did something to my rabbit, it was awful. And so I missed part of GoPro because my daughter was crying and I had to take the rabbit to the vet. And I was just like, I commit to do this weekend and this happens, you know. And then I, on my lap, landed this accelerator program. And I was at a point in my business where I was ready to give up. I kept hitting this plateau and I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Like, I kept looking at everybody, looking at people on this GoPro stage, and I was like, I'm just as passionate as them. Like, I love it. Like, I've got so much energy. I can bring people in. Why? And so I was at this point, I had a conversation with my partner. He supports me so much. Thank you, Chris. And he said to me, listen, don't give up. Let's have one more shot. Sign up to this program. And I was like, oh, are you sure? It's like a year's worth of coaching with Worre. And I'd never invested in myself that much. When I did personal development, I read books. I did, audio programs. I'd never had a mentor before, ever. And I never invested in myself. I went to company events as well. And so this was a big thing for me. I remember once I cleared it with my partner, my heart was pounding making that payment. It was pounding. And I made the payment. And that first month, I felt like I got my money's worth because you built me back up. I was broken. I was broken, and I thought it was me that had the problem. And what I quickly realized through the months of working with you, I feel like family, like you're my Uncle Eric. What I quickly realized is it wasn't me. I just didn't have the skill set. I didn't have the skill set. I was just running on passion and energy alone. And I didn't understand about systems. I'd never heard of Core Rank before. Like, I didn't know anything about Core Rank. And so I was bringing these people in, expecting them to just run with my energy. And that was why they were going down this black hole. And I constantly had to rebuild. So this whole year with you, I've learned systems. I've learned how to help people get to Core Rank. And I was at a point in my business where I couldn't put the systems in place where I was. Like, I'm not saying this is, please don't say, oh, Emma Tia said I should do this. But I was in a place where I couldn't build everything Eric was teaching me. So I had to make the decision 9 months into the program to start afresh at a new company. And all I did was implement everything that we learned on the Accelerator program. In 6 weeks, I earned the car bonus. And it wasn't just me. People in my team are hitting the car bonus. As an organization in our team, we broke company records, and it was a 13-year-old company. And all I'm doing is implementing the skill sets. I've still got that same passion. I've still got that same energy. But now I've got the skill sets. And, you can't teach what you don't know. So I quickly realized, after beating myself up, after blaming myself, wondering what's wrong with me, I just realized that I just didn't have the skill sets. And now, because of you,
you do now.
I do.
You do now. Give her a round of applause. Well done, well done. James and Becky.
Guys, this is James.
Becky.
We're from Northern California.
Yes. Hello, GoPro family. Eric, thank you so much for this opportunity. We are so honored. Our story is quite interesting. I joined network marketing because he recruited me when we were in college. So we're going to UC Berkeley full-time, and I love the industry because of the personal development. Honestly, did not think I could make a single penny, but honestly, it was a really good, solid 6-7 year ride, and we got to 6 figures in our company, great mentorship, everything's amazing. And then some of you may be in this position where life seems to be going really well, and all of a sudden, everything seems to be going wrong. right? It might be your health, it might be family drama, it might be your finances. We went from a six-figure position to $100,000 in consumer debt. Our business fell apart, our leaders left, and we honestly lost hope.
Yeah, I remember the lowest point. It was we made the corporate, positions. We were with the founders and everything like that, and we're at this corporate meeting, and that was when we were just at the bottom of a hole that never felt like it was ending. And I'm the optimistic one, Eric. She's like the more realistic one. She keeps my head down and my feet planted on the ground. And for the first time, I remember after that meeting, I went to my wife, and I was just like, babe, I give up. And it was a crazy, crazy situation. But God spoke through Becky, and she was just like, everything's going to be good. And long story short, we climbed out of that financial mess, and we wanted to dream again. We went for it again. And what really, really got us to make that decision again really was our leaders that were still with us. We went from hundreds of people to 10 people left. And we're like, we're going to do this. We're going to make a decision. But Eric, to be honest, we were tired. We were doing everything we knew to do, and virtual GoPro came at the right place.
Has anybody else ever felt tired? Raise your hands if you've ever felt tired building your business. Yeah? Normal to feel tired.
So we ended up going to our very first GoPro event last year, actually. And this was like our last little bit of hope.
And by then, we've already been in the industry for a decade. Like 10 years. We've
kind of struggling around, hanging around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I exactly felt like Brianna, like, why didn't we hear about this earlier?
But you breathed hope into us again. And when we heard about the Accelerator program, I was a little scared, to be honest, because we never invested that much into our own personal coaching, similar as well too. And I'm the spender in the relationship. She's the saver. And I remember bringing it up. I was really scared. I'm like, babe, so what do you think? And how did you feel when we brought that up?
And honestly, it was the easiest decision of our lives. And why? Because some of us spent so much money, like buying a car. I mean, we spent six figures on our college education. We both graduated with a UC Berkeley degree that we did not use, and with student loans that I'm still paying today, right? And so to compare what this is capable of, it was honestly a no-brainer.
And what it gave to us, Eric, was it gave us both the skill set and the mindset. I mean, we have braces, because this event's awesome. I think everyone could agree. They're already inspired off their chairs and excited and everything. But imagine 12 months, week after week after week of braces for the mind, this seven-figure mindset. And that was super, super helpful. And it gave us the framework. And long story short, in 10 months, we were able to rebuild what took us 6 years the first time. We hit not one promotion, but 2 top positions in the company. And even better, our seven of our leaders came to the top 1% of the company with us as well too. But I can just share one thing with you, Eric. This was so cool. So we were sitting here just like everyone is here, and we were just like, all right, we gotta dream bigger, faster, like what Eric says, right? So I wrote on a card, and we didn't even know this was gonna happen, but it says, speaker on the virtual GoPro stage.
When did you write this?
This was at the end of the last year's virtual GoPro.
A year ago.
A year ago. I told it to the team.
How weird is that?
And we didn't even know there was this opportunity, so being here.
It didn't exist.
Exactly. So we're just so thankful, and I have to make one declaration to you too. So I did that last year, and this time I said we're going to be in the $1 Million Hall of Fame as well too.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Give them a big round of applause. One thing. Who can see yourself in one of these chairs? Let me see your hands. Could you see yourself in one of these chairs? Yeah? All right. There's something that happens when you're ready to make a big decision. When you're ready to make a big decision, or right after you make a big decision, what I've found is the universe will test you. It will test your resolve. It will test your commitment. And it's almost spooky. It's like weird things will start happening out of the blue. It's like things are conspiring to try to get your focus off of this big decision or to get you not to take it. So I want to know, either while you were thinking of making the decision or after you made the decision, were you tested in some way from a year ago to now? Were you tested? What was it? And how did you respond to it? And just so you know, we haven't spoken. I don't know the answers to these questions. So were you tested at all?
Big time.
Yeah? What happened?
Just cry. Well, I got pregnant and had horrible morning sickness. Awful. And I mean, it just felt like the flu that wouldn't stop. And so just trying to push through that, and then not being pregnant, and then dealing with that depression. So thank God.
You had a miscarriage then. I'm sorry.
But thank you for the accelerator program, because it kept pulling me back. Like, get back in the game. You can do this. And I just kept plugging in and plugging in and plugging in, even when I felt like I'm just going to fold in my cards and I'm done. But I made that commitment, and when you have skin in the game, it makes all the difference. So.
Well done, you. How about you? Were you tested?
Yeah, I mean, on so many levels, like being a single mom with 2 kids, starting into a new industry that you never heard about, people think that you're crazy. I was already the crazy one for leaving that marriage, and I was just like putting the blame on me like all the time. When I became a top leader, I had no idea what it was, and there was just a lot of jealousy. A lot of people, they were like, yes, that's not fair, how can she do that? And when you're like fragile and you're by yourself and you're just trying to make the right thing, I'm not going to cry. It was hard, but what I did is, you told me how to recycle my pain. Like that first week that we had, when we did that 7 level deep, I cried all week. And it was like all of the pain, all of the guilt of being a single mom, being a Black woman, being everything that it was so hard, went out. And after that, I was unstoppable. I was like, you know what? If I have to do this, I'm gonna die doing this. So I took my pain and I use it as a fuel for my business. So if anyone has any kind of pain, because so many people come into this industry with an emotional baggage that's so heavy, just drop it down, because you need that. You need that energy to build. So just recycle your pain and go for it. And if you have to, die for it, because nothing's gonna happen. You're gonna win.
Well done, well done. How about you? Were you tested at all?
Hey, that's a crazy question, Eric. Tested a lot. Oh my God. First of all, I just want to say, when you talk about your past, or maybe talk about your present, first rule, don't beat yourself up. And the second is, don't feel sorry for yourself. It's so important. Don't beat yourself up and don't feel sorry for yourself. Because it's so crazy. 1 year ago, at the month end of November, something crazy, something horrible happened in our family. In just 1 week, died so many people in our family. My heart is beating goosebumps, because on the first day, cousins of our family were just dying. 2 days later, our grandpa was just dying. And 2 days later, while my uncle, the brother from my mother, like a second father for me, teach me so much in life, while he was carrying him, the grandfather, to bury him, he also just passed away. And I was like, oh my God, is this really true? Are you kidding me? It can't be true. And just 6 or 7 months later, two of my best friends and top leaders, after 5 years with me in the company, so many magic moments, just also left the company for no reason. And right the day after, I remember, it was like yesterday, on a Friday afternoon, I get a phone call, get a message, and the person was telling me, hey, you are one of your best friends, your biggest leader, a very strong leg, also passed away. And I was like, what is going on here? Are you kidding me? And the GoPro Accelerator just teach me and just help me to go back in the game. So just give myself again the permission to dream big. Just keep me in the game. Fall down 7 times, stand up 8. You know, you teach me so much, Eric and Marina, and all the persons of the GoPro family, of the coaches, of the lessons, they teach me so much in life, because I understand my greatest moments don't come from my greatest moments. My greatest moments come from my greatest defeats, from my greatest failures, from my greatest challenges, from every single moment and second I've been going through. And this is so crazy, because I told you before, when I can do this with so many challenges and so many facing fears and so many breakups with the family, so many problems, when I can do this, you can do this. Because like Eric was telling you, when you decide to go all in, the universe is going to test you like crazy.
It will test you. And once you pass the test, it'll get out of the way.
Yeah, but then maybe the next one is coming, the next one is coming, the next one is coming, and the world will fight you like crazy. It will test you like crazy, and it will ask you how far can you go, how deep can you go, how fast can you move, and it just kept me going, just kept me moving, just kept me dreaming big. And this is so crazy, because if I can do this, you can do the same. Everybody's watching here all around the world, and I know a lot of persons are right now sitting here and say, oh my God, this was not my year. 21 was not my year, and they beat themselves up and just say, oh my God, this is so bad, momentum, nothing was happening. And they say, how can I do this? And trust me, the GoPro Accelerator just helped me to have my personal breakthrough. And I just want to say that GoPro, I'm a GoPro child, 16, 17, 18, 19, every single year I was attending. GoPro changed my business. But the GoPro Accelerator, let's be honest, God is watching, let's be honest, GoPro Accelerator just changed my life. Not my business, it changed my life. And it's the perfect thing when you want to step up for you, for your family, for your children, for your building your own legacy, you can reinvent yourself. And when you apply all those things, you can go to a level with your family, you can go level with your families you could never ever imagine. You could never ever imagine. So thanks so much for telling my story, and I just want to see you all win. Oh my God.
Kinsey, I'm interested. Were you tested? Was there a big universal, did the universe push against your decision to try and change your life?
I feel like I was tested all year long. Like I would be tested, I would get through it. I'm like, all right, on to the next level, test again. And so between just being sick after I invested in this, I got really sick. I'm like, wait, I'm ready to go. I don't have time to get sick. I never get sick. And then I would say like my biggest test really happened this summer. I experienced my first true internet hater. Like they went next level, and it was a storm for a month of people harassing me online, and I could just feel the universe trying to get me to stop and trying to get me to quit. And I'm so thankful for this program, because on the days I was feeling really defeated, I'd log into the group and everyone was sharing their wins, and I'm like, okay, they're going, I can do it. They're going, I can do it. So it just helped keep me on track every week and every day, just being around these amazing, inspiring individuals.
I love it. I love it. How about you? Were you tested? You weren't tested, were you?
I was definitely tested. The same month I signed up and I made that big heart-pounding payment, like I'd never invested in myself before, scammers phoned up and pretended to be my bank, and I fell for it. They emptied the business account, £25,000, and I had to tell my partner, I gave them everything they needed. They phoned up and I really thought they was a bank. Like, oh my gosh, it was awful. I was crying, I felt so stupid, like beating myself up. And also at the same time, internet haters came up. Internet haters came up, and I was a big yellow personality, and I was like, how come they don't like me? Like, I'm a really nice person, and I really wanted to explain myself, let them know that you've got me all wrong, like, and I really wanted to like just get them to see who I really am. But obviously there's a brick wall there, and I couldn't get through to them, so I used to cry. And like now, like just recently, I haven't had any internet haters till recently, and oh my goodness, I'm like, thank you for acknowledging me. Like, yeah, I know I'm
your
doing
posture
good.
changed.
Yeah,
on the
my
haters,
posture
right?
changed. I've got the confidence now, and the internet hater, and I'm like, yeah, man, I made it. I got a hater.
I love it. I love it. How about you guys? Were you tested? The universe pushed against you?
Absolutely. I think this profession, it's what a compensation plan wrapped around personal development, right?
You're right.
And we all know the things on the inside that we don't tell anyone else that we need to work on. And for me, I have an honest confession, Eric. I'm a big people pleaser. Big people pleaser. And when we made this decision to go into this, I'd have to say it was probably the biggest bout of loneliness that I
Yep.
felt in a long, long time. We love our upline and our mentor and everything, but we felt that we needed to go a different direction. We had the hardest conversation of our life with our mentor. We've worked with him for over 10 years. It was great at the end of the day. Closer friends just did not understand what we were doing. We went to UC Berkeley, so we had this self-image of, oh, we're professionals on that side of things, and now we're network marketing professionals, and all of our close friends that were, smart and intelligent, they were just like, what the heck are you guys doing with your life, So I think it was a self-image thing that we had to deal with, at least I had to deal with a lot, but once you broke through that, you're just like, who cares about what other people think?
Yeah, isn't it funny when you stop letting other people rent space in your head? It's such an interesting thing. When you're just like, nope. You can leave now. You don't need to be part of my thought process. How about you?
And I just want to say, every single person that was on stage that is, successful, all went through similar things, right? And you hear their stories, and you're like, oh wow, like that's the inspiring part, because it really is. And the way I feel is God never wastes a pain. So if you're going through tough times, just know that it's not the end of the story. And just like what happened to us, it wasn't the end of the story. It was the breakthrough moments. It's God wanting you to step up and become that person that He really wants you to be. And if you broke through, that's when you're gonna level up and be like, okay, now I can truly accomplish and become that masterpiece that God designed me to be.
Yeah, here's what I've learned. I've learned that your life is made up by the decisions that you make. And if you look back on your career, your business life, there's probably about 20 that really made a difference. When you look back and say, if I would have said no to that, like if I look back to 1992 and my mentor says, let's run for 90 days. If I would have said, no, I'm busy, to that, everything changed. You know what I mean? When I stood up for myself, when somebody was kicking me in the face and I stood up for myself and said, no, that kind of behavior is not allowed in my life. Changed everything, moved everything forward. So you never know until later what decision's going to move you forward. You have an intuition sometimes. Sometimes in the moment, you're like, wow, this is a big one. You know what I do? It's a weird thing. When I'm in those moments, I take a mental picture. I literally do. I close my eyes, I look at it, I lock it in, and I take a picture. This is a moment. This is important. I'm going to remember this. I'll never forget, first time I hired Tony Robbins. I didn't have the money to do it. We were doing this big event in Baltimore, and I hired Tony Robbins to come in to speak. And we had this Baltimore arena, this full arena full of people, and I had no business doing this. I mean, I'm like 29 years old, no business hiring Tony to come in. I mean, there's just no way. It was impossible. It was a huge stretch, huge thing. But I remember climbing up to the top row in this arena and looking down, and Tony was on stage doing his thing, and I had made that happen, right? And I took a mental picture, click, and I said, if I have the courage in my life, like I had the courage to do this, I can do anything. There's no thing that isn't possible. If I make a decision when other people think I'm nuts, this studio people thought we were nuts. You know what I mean? If I have the courage to do this, that little click. Sometimes it's a person whispering a word into your ear at the right time. I listened to an old cowboy, his name is Johnny Daniel. He said, you can tell the size of the man by the size of the problem that gets him down. And I went, wow, okay. Because I used to complain about little stuff, just to complain. I was a professional complainer and blamer. I mean, and I just went, man up, kid. That changed everything in my whole life. When a person whispered into my ear, Here's the secret to continued massive success. Plan, do, review. And I knew in the moment that I heard it, plan, do, review. I remember where I was. I was in Ypsilanti, Michigan, at the High Scope Educational Research Foundation that taught kids how to learn in accelerated ways. And they said, here's how kids learn the best. Plan, do, review. And I went, wait a minute. If I use, forget kids. If I use plan, do, review, there's nothing that can stop me. I can go to the top in anything I choose to go to the top in if I'm physically capable of doing it. I remember the moment. But here's the thing. It's these little decisions, sometimes little, sometimes big, sometimes scary, right? Sometimes impossible. You have to say yes before you know how it's going to all work out. If we make better decisions as we move forward, if we believe in ourselves, if we're encouraging to ourselves, if we're kind to ourselves, then we're good. Then we're good. But it's also, there's two paths. One is those decisions that led you in a good direction, and you know what the other path is? The decision that led you in a bad direction. And some of you listening to this right now have made some decisions that have not served you, have decided that you're not worthy, have decided that it's okay to crawl, have decided that the people around you are not that big of a deal. Maybe it's time. The great news is any day you wish, you can rip a new page.